Inheritance in Python. So what do you mean by inheritance? Creating a new class from an existing class is called inheritance. One of the main features of OOPS. We use the term reusability of code. I have class A. From class A I created class B. From class A I created class B. A new class can be created from an existing class. So from A, B is created. A's properties, let it be some A1, A2, A3, and B properties B1, B2, B3. A properties A1, A2, A3, and B properties B1, B2, B3. As B is created from A, B gets the properties of A. B gets the properties of A. So A is your base class and B is your derived class. A is your super class, B is subclass. A is parent class and B is child class. A child class gets the properties of parent class. So you create a class. From that class we can create any number of classes. Creating a new class from an existing class is inheritance. Look at the syntax: class, derived class, and within brackets base class. So one class can inherit multiple classes. You need to put all them in parentheses separated by comma. So we can have more than one base class. Look at another syntax: base class 1, base class 2, base class 3, and so on. We use the term extends. The keyword extends in Java once we are creating a new class from an existing class. So look at this program. What is the class name? Animal. And we have a function speak. Class dog within brackets animal. So I am creating dog from animal. Animal is your base class and dog is your derived class. And I have function in class dog, and which is the name of the function is vark. So we have a base class animal with one function speak, and we have derived class dog with one function bark. And look at the object. Object is created for derived class. Always you need to create an object to derived class, as derived class gets the properties of base class, so we don't need to create any object to base class. So d dot bark. Observe that d dot bark. Bark is a function of class dog, that is your derived class. And d dot speak. Speak is a function of base class animal. As the concept of inheritance, the properties of base class are applicable to derived class. Using the derived class object d, we are calling the function of derived class bark as well as the function of base class speak. Multi-level inheritance. From A, B is created, and from B, C is created. From A, B is created. A is base class, B is derived class. From B, C is created. C is derived class and B is base class. So from A, B created, and from B, C created. Multi-level. Look at the syntax. Class 1, From class 1 class 2 is created, from class 2 class 3 is created. Look at the things in brackets. The first class is your base class, class 2 is a derived class from base class 1, and class 3 is also a derived class from class 2. Now class 2 is base class 2, class 3. Class 1 is base class 2, class 2. Look at this simple example. It's an extension of the previous example only, no confusion. You can just take a pen and paper and note it down clearly. Animal is your base class here with one function speak. From animal dog is created, so dog function bark. From dog child is created, and dog child is a function eat. So animal is your primary base class. From animal dog is created, a dog is derived class, animal base class. From dog child class is created, so dog is base class 2, dog child derived class. So animal method speak, dog method bark, and dog child method eat. So what is the final derived class? Dog child. So create an object to that. D dot bark, D dot speak, and D dot eat. Using the derived class object, we can call the methods of derived class as well as all the base classes. So multiple inheritance, more number of base classes. A, B, C. From A, B, C we are creating D. From A, B, C, 3 base classes. I can create one class, D, derived class. So more than one base class is multiple inheritance. Look at the syntax, class base 1, class base 2, and so on. So we have more than one base class here, and class derived within brackets base 1 comma base 2 and so on. If I have more than one base class, and all the base classes must be placed within brackets separated by comma. So look at this example, how many base classes we have? Calculation 1, calculation 2, and that's all. We have 2 base classes, calculation 1, calculation 2. Calculation 1 is the base class with function summation. Calculation 2 is also a base class with function multiplication. From calculation 1 and calculation 2 derived, the class derived is created with the function divide. So try to observe the names of classes and the functions inside each and every class with how many parameters. An object is created D, and D dot summation, D dot multiplication, and D dot divide. So we have methods is subclass, sub subclass, sup superclass, to check the relationship between the specified classes. So returns true if the first class is subclass of second class, and false otherwise. We'll see this example. So we have class calculation 1 and class calculation 2. From calculation 1 and calculation 2 derived is created, and it's an extension of previous program only. So we used is subclass. Look at the things clearly, no confusion regarding the class names or function names. You can use your convenient things like x, y, z, or etc. Is subclass within brackets derived comma calculation 2. So derived is the subclass of calculation 2 is true. Look at the second print, is subclass calculation 1 comma calculation 2. False, because calculation 1 and calculation 2 are 2 base classes for derived. We have is instance. the method to check the relationship between the objects and classes. It returns true if the first parameter, that is obj, is the instance of second parameter. First parameter is object, second parameter is class. So look at this same example. Look at the last print. Is instance of D comma derived. Is D is an object of class derived? True. Is instance verifies the first parameter is an object of second parameter. First parameter is object and second parameter is class. So D comma derived. D is an object of class derived. So here it is true. So what is method overriding? So we need to keep in mind the names, take care of names of the methods which are used in parent class and derived class. Sometimes what happens is, if the parent class method name and the derived class method name are same, then what we are supposed to do that? So that is what your method overriding. And the parent class method is defined in the child class with some specific implementation, then this is your method overriding. So look at this example. What is the class name? Animal. Dog is created from animal. In both the cases, look at the thing, very important. In both the cases, in the class animal, the method name is speak. In the class dog, the method name is speak. The method name of base class and the method name of derived class is same here. The base class animal, derived class dog, the method name speak in base class animal and the method name speak in the derived class dog. In these type of situations, which one will be called if we use d dot speak? Overriding d dot speak. Look at the output, it's barking. So it automatically calls the speak method of derived class only. The method which is in base class is overridden. We'll see one real lifetime example of method overriding. So check it out, how many classes are there and what are the methods and what are the objects and how the methods are called. So what is the class name? Bank, with method name get ROI, get rate of interest. And again we have class SBI, which is created from bank with the same method name, and another class ICICI is created from bank itself with the same method name. So all the classes are having the same method name get ROI with same number of parameters. And look at the objects B1, B2, B3, and B1 dot get ROI and B2 dot get ROI and B3 dot get ROI. Look at the output. So what is an abstraction? What is data abstraction, which we discussed in the last session? So we can perform data hiding by adding double underscore as prefix to any attribute which is to be hidden. And after this, the attribute will not be visible outside the class through the object. We already used something like constructor init. We'll see this example. So what is the class name? Employee. Look at the variable count is equal to 0 and with prefix to underscores, and init is a constructor. No confusion regarding the constructor. We already practiced constructors. We already discussed constructors in the last session. We have method display and objects are created, emp and emp2. Look at the try block, the try block emp.count and finally emp.display. Yeah, constructor, in constructor what we are doing, we are just count is equal to count plus 1. So in display we get the number of employees 2, but we get an attribute error. Employee object has no attribute count, which I given in try block. So as the variable count is preceded, prefixed with 2 underscores, which is hidden, cannot be used outside the class using the object.